Okay. I'm back. We'll see, I guess. Okay. I can see myself on Twitch now. It says unstable, but it does show me on Twitch. Am I also live on YouTube? Now my OBS like isn't showing me the right stats, but maybe that's okay. That's probably like that's a manageable problem. I don't need the OBS thing to be accurate as long as I'm actually live. Yeah, I can hear myself there. Okay, Twitch is working. Fucking YouTube. That's what happens when you don't stream for months. You just get like a cool new problem for no reason. Yeah, I can hear myself there. Okay, Twitch is okay, yeah, YouTube's working too. Okay. We're gonna call that good, chat. I think we're okay. I don't know what was happening there, but not my circus, not my monkeys. We'll live. Let's get this window back up here. Let's get OBS back in the front. We're gaming. We're gaming. He puts into his own chat. Yeah, I know YouTube was working fine. Twitch was just a black screen. For people for some reason, which I've never had before, but apparently was because my encoding and my bitrate was so good that Twitch couldn't handle it, unlike YouTube. So we had to make some minor adjustments. That's okay. Okay, now here's the situation, chat. Let's hit start recording again. Let's fucking recap. I'm actually here today to go do a bunch of stuff in the Quel'Thalas region. And also to yap a little bit, lore-wise. But I got a thing that's stuck in my brain, and it's that, I don't, like, care that much about this mount event. I haven't been, like, trying especially hard to get any specific mounts, really. I've just kind of been farming whatever. But I do have a few more people I can run Deathwing on, and it would be cool to get Awake the Drakes, the achievement, before this mount event is over. Just to make it easier, so I don't have to think about it again. And I think I need... Hold. What did we set to? Heroic. I think I need just both the drakes from the... Like, I need the blazing drake, which comes from this. So, we just have to get in here. And we need to get it this run. And the faster I get it this run, the more I can get on to the stuff I actually want to do in this game today. I've also run this 20 million times, I feel like. Which is not true. I've run it like 10 times for the last 3 weeks every week, I guess. But I've run it enough now that I feel well seasoned in how to clear it fairly quickly, all things considered. What are my bags looking like? Okay, they're okay. They're relatively clear. I need a add-on that clears the loot notifications from the middle of my screen. I could live without those popping up, because you just get... So this event for the uneducated is... You get like double the transmog drops. So any of the armor, any of the loot drops from legacy raids, just to like try and collect appearances. Which is cool, but you end up with a ton of loot. in your inventory, which is annoying. So you're constantly like just trying to resell it over and over again. Mark, I completely missed your text, but I appreciate the call out on the from Mark and John on the black screen stream. Thank you.
I need to get close.
That's one guy down. So we just get like, we got so much loot. I got all these slimes just hitting me, trying to live my life. Those loot, the little like loot toasts, that's what I need to turn off. That's the ideal scenario, is if all those were to just go away. But maybe you'll get some cool micro optimizations for time. I think I know only 2 here, but they do work pretty well, so. As well as you could hope, I guess. One of the things that I should not be doing time optimization wise is I just honestly shouldn't loot any of these guys. Yes, Zenny, that is in fact the one of the time optimizations I was about to talk about. Was doing that. You're gonna watch me do it right now.
The heroes of legend.
It's an important thing. Something I'm considering trying. So I have that mage. I made her just strictly for to have another enchanter. But something I'd really like to try on a mage is if you can you do it even faster and avoid this
The power of the dragon soul is too great.
that like whole dragon ride up if you alter time at the top of the tower and then portal down and then smack alter time again so you port back up to the top. I actually don't even know if that works, but I'm curious to know if that would be even faster. Yeah, that seems like gaming, right? We can try it after. That's a good use of time. I did it too fast. Oh no, I didn't. Yeah, we're here. Perfect. Yeah, but sometimes you... Twice now, it's happened to me where I couldn't get like far enough to hit him. You have to make sure you have a ranged ability that's gonna like actually touch him and that your jump is good enough. I also had a hilarious one happen yesterday or the day before on Ultraxian where I jumped off on my Demon Hunter and accidentally triggered Glide and fell down too slow and couldn't hit him. I got ported in before I was actually in range to throw a glaive, which was devastating from a time saves perspective because then you have to fly all the way back down to the bottom and take the stuff back up to the top. Just horrible stuff all around. Why nobody should play that class.
Something about you.
Praise the Titan.
Oh, my
They have returned.
add-ons are not... That shouldn't be turned on right now. Hold. We're gonna hit the K-BAM button. I have 2 buttons, chat. For the uneducated in my UI. They're not gonna get used very much because I'm on PC right now, but maybe I'll show them off later. I have a button that puts me into K-BAM mode and turns a bunch of add-ons on. And I have a button that puts me into controller mode. And changes my whole, like, my whole shtick. It's completely different in controller mode. I think actually technically in controller mode you wouldn't even be able to see... I'm gonna change how much chat is viewing here. There's a lot of chat on screen. Not that I don't care for you all, but... we don't need that many chat messages. We need like this. I also wish it wrapped differently. Solve that problem later.
Loktar, friend. What is it you wish?
my health bar is like big. My whole like player frame is huge and in the bottom left screen because it's designed for when I'm playing on my TV. So it's meant to be just like extremely like Witcher coded, basically. Make it a little more RPG-y. This RP you can't skip, which is a bummer. This is the, you just gotta sit and deal with this stuff. Fun fact, this is my original World of Warcraft character. I never play him anymore, but he's here in all his glory. One. This is just a constant camera rotation game as you wait to figure out where the next Drake is coming in. Sometimes you get thrown. I'm kind of like looking for orange names is usually the like thing I'm looking for. But then sometimes you get thrown off by the Deathwing orange name. You also have to do a sanity check every 5 seconds in this raid to make sure you're actually on heroic and the game didn't just like stealth swap you to normal for no reason. Okay. Cool. We finished that part. Oh yeah, I was gonna go see if I can make this chat window less wide. I had everything set up so good. Chat, and then I had everything set up so good, and then when I wiped my computer, I just like lost a bunch of my settings, which is mondo annoying. Default compact. Yeah, I don't know if changing the like.
I sense a great disturbance in the balance approaching.
I don't remember if I can change the width.
Burns my mind.
If just changing the browser source width changes it. Take a look. What if I change this to like 400? Wrong button, everyone. We're letting the oh yeah, that worked perfectly. Incredible. We let the RP play out there so I can fix my stream overlay. Done. Let me click the chest. Thank you. Hey! Chat? It's a good day. It's a good day already. Look at that. One bad boy down. Let's go. That's actually not the one I need for Wake the Drakes, but that's okay. We take any mount we can get. Experiment 12B, we take. Even though he is mondo ugly. Experiment 12B. Yeah. Don't like the look of that one. But you know, it's not about the look, it's about the number. And we hit the number. Do you think the Goblin goes 2 for 2? This feels lucky to me. This feels like this could be a 2 for 2 scenario. Like this is the run. That would be huge. Oh, I gotta talk to this guy again. I forget. I always forget you have to talk to this guy twice. Also, let me know if the music ends up being too loud, if I need to rebalance the background music. The mix of RuneScape and World of Warcraft music that we're currently rocking.
Our engines are damaged. Sitting up here.
This part takes a long time too. The parts that I complain about in this raid, I feel like are not the parts that other people complain about. Like I don't really care about doing. I didn't even really care about doing spine that much before you could cheat at it. Wasn't like a huge deal to me. The parts that I hate in this raid are like this part. I think this is just insanely annoying. I gotta wait for these guys to latch this thing in so I can hit it. Gotta wait for several of them most of the time. I think I should have gone to the right first. That one's gonna actually get in here sooner. Yeah, it's smarter.
I'm out of range.
Get over here.
Hey, it's too far away.
Concentrate everything on the armored drake.
Okay, we're almost there. God, it would be so cool to get both of them. And then just, like, not have to run this raid ever again. Back here. Get back here. Beautiful.
Fear causes hesitation.
Yeah, exactly. I did it a couple times at the end of that one. There's also... I have to be careful sometimes. There's a, I think it's happening to me right now. Oh no, it's okay. There's like trinkets and stuff that you can get from catch-up gear in the War Within. And the trouble with trinkets, chat, is that, they'll like randomly proc and just kill stuff that you're not actually trying to kill yet. Which is a problem when I'm trying to like get an amalgamation over one of these. Let him explode. Now I can kill him. Do some rolling. I know I can also technically just stand in the tentacle, but I'm not. Come here, right this way. Yeah. Great. Yeah, the charged sparks will do it too. It's the one that was getting me a lot is it's this trinket from Nightfall. It's the one that I have equipped. I just have it set to not do this because you can change the proc on it. But there's 2 or 3 procs on that Nightfall trinket that instantly do damage, or just like randomly do damage. It screwed up my Firelands Alyss Resort skip a whole bunch because it would kill her before I could get any of the feathers, which was also mondo annoying. Oh, right over here, Michael. That's the wrong way. Why is auto loot not auto looting? Is it just being itself? Is it performing a maneuver? Yeah. Like, look how fast our inventory filled up. Even like we sold a couple times in between that. Are any of these tier tokens? Okay, these ones are 5. I think these are the tier tokens that we don't. Cataclysm tier tokens we don't open because they're worth more gold unopened. It's the later stuff that you want to pop because it will give you more gold. If it's an actual piece of loot, it goes from like 5 to 40 or something. It's crazy. If you're secretly earning while you go.
I will charge you with arcane energy to blast your foes.
Just do some drive-bys on some tentacles real quick.
I will cleanse
Go.
whatever corruption I can. My fire will not harm you.
Boom.
One step closer. The
Okay.
unknowable, transcendent power of the Emerald Dream. I now give.
Yeah,
unto
before
the
they like
dragon
nerfed it, it would have been
soul.
crazy. You still get it on some of the newer ones, right? But It's it would have been nutso gold. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Well, we're not that lucky, it turns out. But not bad. There are worse outcomes than what just happened. For sure. There are worse ways that could have gone. And we got another guy to run this on. So the world is our oyster. Let's sell this right now.
Me got the good stuff, man.
I must not have... I have a scrap filter set up on... I thought it was OmniTune that would just auto-mark all these as junk and sell them, but it's not working on this goblin for some reason, which I find bizarre. Not the end of the world, but just bizarre, you know? That's okay. There we go. Next character. Oh, I got an itch in the nose, chat. Whew. Who haven't I run this on? I ran this on Rokrin. I ran this on my Death Knight. I don't think I've done it on my Hunter. I don't think I've done it on Aldros. Let's go Hunter first. Where am I right now? Zoltazar. Fastest way on my Hunter is probably also Dalaran Hearthstone, I think. I don't remember where my Hunter's actual hearth is set right now. Dornagal. Yeah, we'll go Dalaran. I was thinking about this the other day. It's interesting. I remember when they did like the portal removal because they didn't want people just using portals all the time. And then eventually like brought in these portal rooms, right? That we see here where they have portals to all kind of major expansion places and stuff like that. But there was this time in WoW where like there was a knowledge that you could obtain about like there were just portals scattered everywhere. They went to all kinds of random places and you could really like get good at telling other people or just yourself knowing what the most efficient way to get somewhere was, right? Like one I think of all the time is Zenny, who's chatting right now. One time I had to get a panda to like WAD, but I hadn't unlocked WAD on the panda, and we like group mount flew me to a secret cave that's under Timeless Isle to like use the portal there to go to WAD, which was very funny. And one of our friends in a Discord that I'm in just started playing old school RuneScape, which I am like far from an expert in, but I have two friends that are quite smart old school RuneScape wise. And we were kind of just chatting, and I was thinking about how a cool part of that game is there are so many like disparate travels, like fast travel systems in old school, that there's like a cool knowledge skill thing to knowing how all of those work across like minigame teleports and these things called fairy rings and all this other stuff, and like knowing how to use them and interact with them in the correct way to be able to move around the game as efficiently as possible. It's not something you need to do, but it's like an optimization that you can do and that you can get good at, right?
Twilight's hammer is
and there's still some of that, like you can kind of go like, oh, but it's so much less. Even just now, right, when I went like, oh, I think I just Dalaran Hearth here and then go Dalaran to Orgrimmar. It's like a microcosm of that, but it's so much smaller in scale, right? Because the thing about the Dalaran Hearthstone is it's just is this normal? I'm on normal. I gotta run out. It's just like it's the Dalaran Hearthstone is a main capital Hearthstone with one extra step. Like it's actually just an Orgrimmar Hearthstone. That's all you use it for. So it sort of begs the question at some point, like why still? But yeah, like weird Blasted Lands teleports, that's a really good example of that. A lot of those good little things. I don't know. I think that was a cool part of the game. Yeah, see? That's the other trick with this raid chat. Is it does an insane thing where if your natural raid difficulty is set to mythic and you walk in here, it just puts you on normal for some unknown. Oh, and I'm instance locked to normal now because I killed that boss. Oh no. I did myself so dirty. Oh wait, Blazing Drake drops off normal. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. It's the one I got. Oh no, it's the Handmaiden, right? The Handmaiden's only heroic. So I would still like the Handmaiden, but the Handmaiden is not what I require for Awake the Drakes. So we're okay. We're still flying. That's a good call. Oh, that's true. That's true. I forgot that I'm gonna have to 9 slime. Do we even do this? Do I just swap to my paladin? And only come back to this if I don't get it? That's probably the play, right? This can't, yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. Because I just like... The idea of having to do the 9 slime right now is horrific to me. Give me enough energy to do this. There we go, thank you. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do it. We'll wait the 20-second log. No, I'm just gonna reboot it. We're booting. I'm not waiting it out. I can't do it. That's my mistake. I screwed it up. But I'm not waiting the, There's no shot I'm waiting the 9 slime out unless I absolutely have to. Aldros, buddy, you're up. I'm running out of characters. I guess I could run it on my 70s. I only ever run it on my 80s, but it's so low. So where's the lore talk? The lore talk comes when people ask about lore, man. Or when I get to Quel'Thalas. The original intent of this stream is to go to Quel'Thalas, but unfortunately, right now, instead of talking about lore, we are screwing up our attempts to get the Blazing Drake. But I think this is going to be the only other character I run it on right now. And then we're going to go start our lore and rep farming. The next video that I'm now working on, that's a good use of time. You know what? I think if you put the time in, Zenny, to level that character and then you got the mount first try, that's still time well spent. Even if you didn't need it past that mount, you're still laughing. The lore video that I'm in the midst of writing and prepping, hopefully with the intention of it coming up this week, I think, that I'm surprised doesn't, like, exist. I tried... So, something I do whenever this is my, like, inside baseball and how I decide what I'm going to make a video about. I make a video, and I write my script, and then I go check to see if there's actually just a video that, like, does what I'm trying to do better. Good eye. Good eye, chat. If there's a video that's just does what I'm trying to do better, and if it does, then I'm probably not going to make the video. But if I think there's like something missing, or the old video is old enough that like there's new stuff to talk about on that subject, then I'll still make the video. So I went and did that, with the idea of like a Quel'Thalas 101, because that's the region that we're going back to in Midnight. We obviously don't know much more other than Chris Metzen being like, we're going back to Quel'Thalas, we're going back to the old world, we're going to be hanging out there, we're getting an old world revamp, like mini style, in the form of just those regions. And I was like, you know, a lot of people don't like know a ton about what Quel'Thalas encompasses in terms of like a region, because it's actually quite large, or the history of it, or how that can potentially inform some of what we're going to see over the course of an expansion that is ostensibly based around uniting the elven tribes in the region of Quel'Thalas. So I was like, okay, before the Midnight announcement stuff at Gamescom, be good to like, let's get a video out there that talks about just like the history of Quel'Thalas and what's going on over there. And I was shocked to discover that I could not find a video that specifically just like ran back the history of that region front to back. There's a lot that do like specific things, right? There's a lot that will talk about like the creation of the Sunwell, or the destruction of the Sunwell, and how it leads to the High Elves becoming the Blood Elves, renaming themselves and what have you, and like things of that nature. But there's not a lot that like just runs you from okay, the Well of Eternity collapses, continent sunders, how do we get from there to the elves are no longer united, even as night elves, right? Because there was already like some split between Ajara's Highborn, just like class divide in the Night Elf Society pre-sundering. But there's a lot of story in how we go from having one Night Elf section on Kalimdor to like how the High Elves come to be, how they go over to the Eastern Kingdoms, how they found Quel'Thalas, and then all of the fall and the follow through and the like the politicking of that region. And I don't actually just think it's relevant to Midnight. I think it's relevant to like post Midnight stuff as well, because I think the region of Quel'Thalas is important in the context of, we know Xal'atath wants to frick with the Sunwell. But if you think about that region geographically, that whole region is also what's responsible for the newfound Arathi Empire in the form of like the Hollowfall Arathi Empire, right? Like fundamentally, the politicking of Quel'Thalas between like the Troll Wars with the Amani and the temporary allegiances with the humans and things like that, and then the eventual migration of a subset of elves and humans across the sea, all stems from that region. So I suspect that while the actual expansion of Midnight itself will be focused on very much like the elves and the region, I think we're going to get a lot of interesting historical seeded lore that will sit and simmer and will be ready to eat in like 2 expansions when we're done the Last Titan. I think we'll get a lot of like background juice on the Arathi as a whole. So for these reasons and more, we got to talk about Quel'Thalas. That's gonna be the next one. Should be exciting. I'm like slowly just trying to like seed as much
Not necessarily.
post the Last Titan lore into my videos as possible, because I feel like I have a pretty good idea of how the next 2 expansions play out from a story and lore perspective. The thing that I want to make a video about that too, but the thing that I'm still trying to mull over in my mind is what the transition from Midnight to Last Titan looks like. I think it's Xal'atath dying. I think Xal'atath kicks the bucket at the end of Midnight. But I still don't have like a smooth transition in my head for how we go from killing her. How you know what it is? It's like I don't really know. The enemies in the Last Titan are for sure going to be the Titans. I just don't know how we get Iridikron back into the picture. I don't know at what point he like emerges over the course of midnight to then be the catalyst in the last Titan, fighting the Titans. Because originally his goal with like the Dark Heart and working with Xal'atath, right? Like Xal'atath, for all of her master manipulatoring, not a word, that's okay. Like Iridikron's goal is to kind of play her a little bit too, right? Like he's really just using her. This is on again. I gotta swap that add-on off. He's basically just using her as bait to get the Titans back to Azeroth, so he can muck them up or whatever.
As it requires a very piece of our being.
Oh.
We will be weakened greatly.
Okay, last time we were fixing the chat window. This time we are going to try the jump. Do I have Divine Shield? Yeah, I do.
What button is that bound to? F? It's a deranged button to have it on. We're going Alt Q.
I had to like manually zoom in because I'm 300 years old.
Loktar, friend. What is it you wish?
Yeah, dude, Q is for defensives, man. Not on this paladin, actually. For some reason, Hammer of Wrath is on Q. Typically, like, Q is the feint button. You put feint on Q as the rogue, right? And then your shift Q is your evasion, and your alt Q is your cloak. That's just... that's button 101, man. No, that's the correct way to do it. Q is a defensive button. Everything about the letter Q screams defense. No, Q is a defensive button. Q stands for quality of life. And the best thing you can do for your quality of life is hit a defensive. You can't be putting offensive buttons on Q. Deranged. E is a tremendous offensive button. One of the best to do it. One of the best to do it. E on this guy is just one button rotation because I don't know how to play my I don't know how to play my paladin at all. But... Rafe left. Put your movement keys in chat. Type your movement keys in chat right now. Q is not strafe left. The first thing you do in any video game you boot up as an MMO is you make it so that A and D aren't keyboard turning you anymore. And if you say some insane shit like you've got Q, W, E as the movement buttons and you've rebound A and D to be abilities, we're gonna have to get a mod in here. That can't live, you know? WASD. God intended those to be your movement buttons. And A and D gotta be strafing. You gotta be doing this. When does Ultraxian spawn? It's gotta be quick, right? You had ads? Sorry. You have 4 buttons that strafe you in this game? Fucking hunters, man. This is why you can't do anything with hunters. They just... It's not far enough! Did I get him? No, I don't think I did. I can't hit. I couldn't hit shield either. That's okay. We're going. You know what? That's sort of a skip in itself, because now he's back up here. You can't be having 4 buttons bound to strafe. It's insane. My defensive Q, Angry, is that Q stands for quality of life. And the best thing you can do for quality of life is hit a defensive. So that's why Q is a defensive button. You're allowed to bind E to offensive buttons. F, good button. R is for movement, of course. R stands for run. So R, Shift R, Alt R, those have got to be movements. You can't be having offensives on R. That'd be insane. Yeah, but like, are you turning with A and D in other situations? Are there situations where you're playing this game and you're turning with A and D? Because if you're not, you're wasting 2 keybinds. And if you are, yeah, so what are you doing? You can't, you have 4 strafe keys bound. You're walking around it, but there's still 4 strafe keys bound. Crazy. Crazy. You're lucky you're good at the game, because that's an insane binding situation. Think you could have Q is what did I have Q bound to as a hunter actually? Shift Q is turtle. Shift Q on hunter is that's a turtle button. That's turtle keybind all the way down. You can have 4 strafe keys as a DPS, as a good DPS because you play Beast Mastery Hunter. Some of us don't have the luxury. Some of us need the buttons. ESDF. So they have like their front and back buttons side by side? I think, here's my thought. Yeah, I use control and shift for sure. I don't use control much actually. I find that, so this is a story some people have heard for sure, but I shift all the time. Shift is like my bread and butter modifier. In Shadowlands, doing Torghast on my hunter, you would always get the Torghast power that gave you the Storm of Crows ability. And I ended up having to bind it to like control 4, and I would have to hit that so much that it gave me tennis elbow in my left arm. So I don't use control a lot. I use alt as my secondary next to shift. Shift, almost every single bind I have has a shift bind. For sure. But I mean, like, you can kind of see it. It's not super illustrative on this character, because this character's, like, just a random alt that I have. But, like, my keybinds are nuts. Like, I've got, if you look at this one right now, like, Shift 1 is for AoE. So Shift 1 is that's your Blade Flurry. That's your Divine Storm. That's your multi-shot. Your primary AoE button is going on Shift 1. Then you got your 1, 2, 3, 4. You got your Shift 4. You got your E, your Shift E, your 5, your Shift 5. Sometimes you got a Shift 2. Aimed Shot is a Shift 2 button. My Rogue doesn't have any Shift 2 abilities. Doesn't need them. No Shift 3 on the Rogue either. Rogue has done a good... My Outlaw has done a good job. People are going to hate this statement. I think of, like, cutting down on some of the keybinds you needed by virtue of, like, when they changed Sinister Strike to automatically swap into Ambush when you have, like, a stealth proc. Or by making Slice and Dice not a button that you need anymore, even though for some reason it's still in the spellbook. Yeah, Shift 1, 2, 3, 4 is like essential. What else do I have bound here? Like, what's working here? Ease. I've got a couple, like, there's some mouse buttons, right? Like, I put, the one that people don't agree with for me, I think, is I have my primary stun on one of my mouse buttons all the time. So, like, Kidney Shot is like a mouse button I hit with my back knuckle of my thumb. Because I like to be able to just, like, rip that really fast. And then the front mouse button that I hit with, like, the tip of my thumb is whatever movement ability, see what's just like I got some kind of aura going. You can't have auras. Or I have the trinket turned on the wrong way. No, we're okay. Like grappling hook, right? Grappling hook is front mouse button. Because you got to be able to aim it and mouse over pop it and go. What's killing him? Something's... this is why I hate playing this paladin, man. Okay, I hit that. I hit that. I'm only hitting one button. Please, amalgamation. Make it over here. What's putting down... Is it that I'm putting down Consecrate and I can't see it? What ability... Oh, Blade is putting down Consecrate. Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. So I can't hit Blade. I wiped the fight. Yeah, but you can't... That's not on me. You can't see the Consecrate on Deathwing's back. I would know that if I could see Consecrate. You just aren't allowed to see it.
100% pure adrenaline.
Okay, so we don't hit Blade of Justice. We take Blade of Justice off the bar. Don't need that button anyway. No paladin has ever needed to hit Blade of Justice.
Don't worry about me. Stop the destroyer and shoot Palina Darini.
Okay, that guy's big. We're good. Did they ever actually show what the new Consecrate visuals look like? I don't remember those. You should find me a link to that. I want to see it. You have nothing better to do with your day than find me, a low-life streamer, a random link. Right? There's nothing else going on. You couldn't possibly be busy. Come on, buddy. Yeah. Okay, we're flying. Did you just DM me right now? Okay. I will go, when I'm not trying to not fail this fight again, I will go rip it up. Yeah, I heard the Twitch, or I heard the Discord message coming, I think. Did I get rolled? Talking too much. I'm getting owned. I'm getting owned by chat. Secretly destroyed by my own hubris. Okay. Is Blade of Justice the only button that I hit that randomly throws down a Consecrate? Is it the only one I have to be worried about? Strafing. This should give me an Amalg, right? Yeah. Come on. I think that was pretty close, buddy. Yeah. We're going. We're moving. We're listening to like nice music from RuneScape and WoW. But I have the theme song to HBO's Peacemaker stuck in my head because I've been watching that show and I was watching it immediately before I went live. And so we have this like beautiful ambient music and all I can hear in my head over and over is, "Do you want to taste this? What's going up must come down." Fun show though. Not like a, you know, not high cinema, but a fun show nonetheless. Somebody in my guild just killed Mythic Queen Ajara, and that actually reminds me that I also need to go to do that. Not for a drop, but I just need B-roll of the, I need B-roll of Circle of Stars. as like an area. So I gotta go kill a Jara so I can get it. I also have to go to the bath, but that's sort of a separate issue. Okay, let's, you know what, while he's doing that, let's reload. Is that you? Are you Shrug? I can't keep track of everyone's alt names, man.
You have
Too many of them.
accomplished the impossible. Before you is the cache of the
Too many damn names.
Take from it what you
I thought your warrior was named something else.
will have more than
Am I stupid?
Although you may.
Jane, you're too scared to play World of Warcraft. That's what I know. Too scared. So can't be you. You're probably playing RuneScape right now. Why do you have so many warriors? You're allowed to have Doom. That's the OG. But
You have done nothing. I will tear your world apart.
I will bring you closer to the Emerald Tree.
Goon.
Seek safety there.
That's a good name, Gat.
Fight becomes too
I'm having to. I had to start losing some of my name holds. Every time I go to make a new character now, I get the "you have too many characters on this account" warning. Because I have some prestigious names sitting waiting for a rainy day. So I've had to start like really cherry picking
The destroyer. The end of all.
what I keep. Okay.
excellent work.
Okay.
Fire of
We
my
have
heart glows with a brilliant purity
we have like a minute of RP
spark of it I will
to go through before we're allowed to open this. Where's the poll option? Let me rip a poll real quick. Manage poll, create new poll. Do I get the Blazing Drake? Yeah. Nah. This is for Twitch only. Sorry, YouTube. You can't poll on YouTube. It's a 1-minute poll. Manifest. I'm manifesting. Oh, really? That'd be a good soundtrack to listen to. I haven't played Expedition 33 yet. Zay keeps telling me to. Zay thinks it's the fucking best game he's ever played. That's like an exaggeration, but he actually might think that. I think it's game of the year, I think, for sure. I'm gonna let that poll run and go to the bathroom real quick. And then when I come back, we're gonna loot this. And I'm going to have successfully obtained the mount. I'll be back in 1 sec. I don't have an away from keyboard screen anymore post computer wipe, so you all just gonna have to like deal with this. Chat, that wasn't so long. That's the benefit of having a bathroom right next to your office. Okay, what was the result? Yeah, that's more yes than no's. I like that. We'll get in here. We're going for the open. Well, you don't win anything. You win knowing that you broke someone's heart today. Congratulations. You're a monster. Do I want to do this on any more characters? I don't know if I do, man. That's all my 80s, I think. I don't think I want to do this on any more characters right now. The dopamine of getting them out would be so good, right? Just like that first one. What did it... Oh, my auction house. The enchantment I relisted when the Twitch portion of my stream wasn't working. Must have sold. Here's some of the sick names I'm sitting on, chat. This is an accurate French-inspired name for a Nightborn Death Knight. That's not one of the sick ones. That just happens to be there. We got Elvarg, classic RuneScape reference. Elvarg, snatched this one early. We got Blamp. Blamp's a good name. We got Soprano, Jinx, Come with a B, Mewtwo, Problematic, Activision, Important, Small, David, Merchant, Deceased. I had some good ones that are actually like still sitting in. You know when you like delete a character, you get to keep the name like kind of locked on you for 60 days or whatever. I got a few that are sitting in there still too, but I think I'm just slowly exiting. I just don't have room for all these novelty names. You gotta drop... Oh, do I have Grok still? Yeah, I do gotta drop Grok, you're right. This guy got made before Musky Pants fucking ruined Grok as a name forever. Unfortunately. Which is so sad, because Grok was such a good name for an orc. You know? You want that, like, one-syllable stupidity for an orc, I think. Like, what would be a good example? Grop with a P? Good name. Grob with a B? I didn't really, if it starts with Graw, you're kind of Zug. Zug's good. Zug's more of a noise, but people name their children noises all the time. I don't want to do one more Dragon Soul, man. I just like... It's heartbreaking. Getting Experiment 12B was nice at least, but it's just like... It's maddening to do Dragon Soul over and over and over again. And... not have it drop. Also, an annoying raid because I made a short about how to, like, lockout share. I don't remember if I pinned the comment on YouTube, but I pinned it on TikTok for sure. Where I was like, hey, this doesn't work in Ice Crown and this doesn't work in Dragon Soul. And without fail, 3,000 comments that are just like, hey, I did this in Dragon Soul and it didn't work and now I lost a lockout. And it's like, well, I'm sorry about it. I have nothing to do but apologize to you, I guess. Okay. Before we start going to do Qualta Lost stuff, I do just want to see... I think I'm No, I think I'm Venture Company this week. Do I have any world quests that I need to slap in the Undermine rep? Oh my god, there are so many. I forgot that they would have refreshed, I guess. Where's the fucking portal? This is rep season, chat. You got to get all your reps capped. I did not do a good job in War Within of like keeping up with renown on the major factions week to week, so I have been using this as big catch-up mode on like basically all the major faction reps. We're almost there for Severed Threads now. I got Halifal Arathi there this week. Assembly of the Deeps and Council of Dornogal are like dreadfully behind, but are manageable. You know, we'll get there. I still need to like do the delves. I forgot how much this place just sewers your frame rate. This add-on is Plumber. So I've gone on a journey recently. I'm now pretty add-on light, I would say, with some exceptions. Let me rephrase. In my default state, I'm add-on light. So I have one add-on called Add-on Control Panel Manager, and the reason I have that is it lets me set add-on sets, which is what allows me to one-button macro swap. One-button macro swap between controller and KBAM. So what this is like this has my KBAM set up, this has my controller set up, and then in the macro for console mode, as an example, it sets my like UI to the console UI that I have set up. It sets my zoom to the default zoom that I like when I'm playing action camera console mode. It disables all my add-ons, and then it enables just the console set, which is like 11 add-ons, and then reloads. And then KBAM does the same thing, just enabling the KBAM set. So I have to have add-on control panel to enable that, but it's the only thing it does, which is good. I have like Auctionator and Craft Sim for crafting like economy stuff, details. And then I have so many add-ons that like don't get used anymore, but I just like don't really know how to uninstall add. I guess I do know how to uninstall add-ons, I just don't bother. So like I have Hekili here for I used to use this to learn classes before they had the rotation guide built into the game. Now it just like sits there because it's not useful anymore. Dynamic Cam, which gets turned on for controllers. Dialogue UI. Dialogue UI is the one that was doing the weird like different quest accept, like dialogue accept thing. It's actually made by the plumber guy, which is why it works so well. I think it's better than immersion. But yeah, plumber, if there are people that aren't familiar with it, sounds like a couple people in the chat are, but plumber is like quickly become an add-on where I'm like, everybody should just probably install plumber. Even like beyond weak auras. I don't even really use weak auras now anymore, to be honest. But plumber has so many things that you can just like very easily toggle on and off, right? Like you can, they've got a different loot window. I don't love the way it looks, but if you toggle it on, it fixes like auto loot not working, and it's a little less intrusive. This one just adds like a search bar to the title manager. Like it's all these very small but noticeable quality of life things that you can just toggle on and off based on your own preferences. But I really like it for like I really like it for this in particular for reps right now, because you can go to this activities thing and you can hide all the ones that you've done, and you can just be like, what do I have left to do? Like I haven't done gearing up for trouble this week, so I can go get rep from that. I haven't done the collecting 10 odd globs, so I can go do that and get my 2000 rep that I'll get for with the buff. Just like shows me all that stuff, which is super handy. And then when you're using it in the context of not just rep farming, especially in like new expansion era, it's just good for tracking what you haven't done that week, right? Oh, these are two different this is two different world quests all next to each other. Does that just break 8 barrels? Is that what this one is? Must be. Didn't have blade flurry on. Yeah, I ended up turning the auto loot one off because I just like, I don't know why, but for some reason the appearance of the loot thing bothered me. But that's not like actually a good reason. I don't have a good explanation for why I decided I didn't want it on anymore. Basically beef. Basically beef is huge. Chat, miniature professional tip. Any basically beef, or if you have good enough cooking to turn it into an okay amount of portion steak, basically beef and portion steak, get that shit and just sit on it for 2 weeks right now. Because right now, oh yeah, somebody DM'd me something. I'm gonna go look at what that concentrate thing looks like. Right now, I'm gonna show you. You know what? To the map. One sec. Let me get a Firefox window going here. So here's the deal. Undermine. Exchange. Drag this bad boy to the front real quick. Here's the deal, chat. So, if we go portioned steak right now. It'll load. We gotta give it a minute. Portion steak right now, $2.62 is what this sells for on the old auction house. If we look at the historical graph for portion steak, you see this dip. This is kind of where it's been since about April. Hey, photo, what up? If we look at this graph, right? Since about April, we're hovering at like the 2 gold mark, right? But you need portion steak for feasts. So every time there's a new raid tier, so launch over here, right? This is our War Within launch window way up here. And here, this is going to be our Undermine launch window right here for the Undermine race. Your portion steak spice, or steak spice, portion steak price, skyrockets. We're looking at 6 gold up here. And right now, you can buy it for a measly $2.62. That's... You guys can't even see my face because I have this over my face. That's free money, chat. That's just free money. It's the same deal with the Kaheti Slum Sharks. You come look at these bad boys. Now, this is a little bit more of an investment. But if we scroll down to the old graph, we're looking at, you know, $5.95 right now. Average purchase price. Over here in our little raid window spike for the Undermine raid, that's 1,000 gold. That's a money doubler. That is a coin doubler built into the video game. Now, I'm not saying you should do what I do, which is I bought 20,000 portion steak last week. I think it was even cheaper. I think it was like a... Probably actually know how much it was. I feel like that's something that I wrote down. I have so many Google Sheets that are like 3 lines that just in no world need to be a full Google Sheet all on their own. I bought portion steak at $1.82 a pop right now. What did we say it was? $2.42 is the sale price right now. So if I just sold it now, I would be up times this. I'd be up 12,000 gold, and we'd be flying. That's just like that's 12K for free. We're not gonna sell it right now. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait till it pops back up to like 5 or 6 gold, and we're gonna make 100K for doing absolutely nothing. That's the type of shit you gotta do. That's the real money maker. And it obviously works better the more capital you have to invest in it. But you got like, you know, you got 3K extra lying around. If 3K is a lot of gold to you, well, go spend that 3K and have 15K. And I'm basically selling you a crypto scheme, but in the World of Warcraft. Just like, go invest and wait it out. Triple your money for nothing. It's free. It's free tripling. Every video you ever watch that's like earn gold fast, it's like, that's not how you earn gold fast. It's like, it's always some video that's like, all you have to do is go farm and hope you get this 0.5% drop rate pet, and then it'll sell for 100,000 gold as long as somebody actually wants to buy it. That's not how you make money. You make money by reselling very, very cheap commodities when they quadruple in price because everybody is buying 5,000 feasts. That's the real money. Profane tinderboxes. Profane tinderboxes. You were doing like a weird shuffle, right? Where it's like it was the it wasn't even really a shuffle, but it was like the goods that you could exchange to get profane tinderboxes were like way cheaper than, like, you could just buy them and get a free profane tinderbox, and you were making some amount of gold on every swap. That's smart. That's not demented at all. That's playing the game, baby. Exactly. That's exactly it. You want stakes. Everybody needs stakes. And that's what the second point of what I was going to say is you don't even have to go do the nonsense investment thing I just described. If you're just like killing shit in War Within zones, you are getting basically beef. And the thing is, like, basically beef is the most cost-effective way to make portion steak. So if we perform this exercise one more time, right? We go basically beef. Let's look at the chart for basically beef. Basically beef is selling for $2.45. You might be like, that's pretty close to portion steak. It's because you can get, especially if your cooking is geared out, you can get multiple portion steaks per basically beef, or per like cluster of basically beef that you do. So you get a good return on it. Even basically beef here, we're looking at, you know, like we're in the 1 to 2 gold range, and over here we're in the 5 to 6 gold range. Basically the same as portion steak, right? So even if you can't turn it into portion steak yourself, you just sit on that basically beef. Don't sell that yet. This here, right now, this is like 10 gold. Oh, that's my spreadsheet. I wonder what's showing my spreadsheet. This. Wait, I want to show it again. Earlier, 5 seconds ago, I was talking about how I have spreadsheets for things that just like don't need to be spreadsheets at all. This is one of them. This is 3 lines. You might be like, that's 4 lines. I made that 4th line right now while we were talking. It was 3 lines previously. Just like a new spreadsheet for no reason. Just sit on that stuff. In like 1 week, we are in money-making extravaganza mode. The regions that you could exchange for 30 gold sometimes, which is 90 gold for profane, and they sell for 125. Yeah, that's exactly it. Exactly the same thing. That's where the money is, man. You just have to look at like what's actually in demand. Herbs are like not a super great one anymore because herbs are so plentiful, particularly like rank 2 herbs. Like rank 1 herbs are functionally useless now. So herbs aren't really a good one to do anymore, but like anything that makes feasts, that's super useful. That'll always spike around. I mean, everything just kind of spikes around new patch time, right? Because people are ripping through gear and anything that's consumable so fast. But food's the real way. And then if you're not an investor, like just fish, man. We have like a 2-week patch lull. If you're not leveling alts or farming mounts right now, you could be watching some. You could be watching hit television show The Mentalist, which is 20 episodes a season, and just fishing. You could be fishing while you watch this guy be a mentalist, and you could be making absolute bank. And also, like, if you set up fishing with, like, a controller layout, and so you can just lean back and, like, functionally one-button fish on a controller, that's one of the most relaxing things you can do. If CBD is not legal where you are, that's as close to CBD as you're gonna get. It's just, you just sit back and slam your fishing button over and over again. It's so funny how just like not in the loop my rotation is when there's any kind of like world content going on. Like I'm just hitting buttons out here. I'm kind of not wasting time with the races because I think you only get, I want to say you only get 100 rep for these. Maybe I'm lying. Is that stupid? Am I fibbing? Am I telling chat a little fib? I really want to go to Quell the Lost. That was the whole point of the stream, was to go to, how long have we been going for? An hour. The whole point of the stream was to go to Quell the Lost and talk about Quell the Lost. Well, I got all the B-roll I needed, but instead we've become distracted, as one does in the World of Warcraft. I hate these races too, the skywriting races and Undermine in particular, because you don't have any like agency over your speed. Even if it's not necessarily slower, it just feels, I think, worse to not like really be in control other than being able to hit the tight turn button. which you don't want to do because it slows you down so much. You really just want to like take the wide turn if you can help it. Yeah. Oh yeah, see that didn't even give me, like that gives me cartel, but it doesn't give me, yeah, that's what it was. I knew there was a reason I wasn't doing them. Because I don't care about cartel of Undermine rep. I am not, I'm not in the Paragon chest race.
We don't got real plants here in Undermine, but we got the next best
Yeah, the world
thing.
boss, I know the world
The
boss is
monster
for sure the
shine
same.
nice and bright.
The world boss I don't do anymore because it's not helpful. That would be another interesting one. Like, I know you kind of already get it a little bit with time walking, right? Like, I talk about this in my housing prep video, but like, you get a rep bonus for that expansion when time walking is active. To go like earn reps. I don't think a lot of people take advantage of it or really think about it that much. Might change with player housing as, you know, like it becomes clear that you want a bunch of reps to get furniture and stuff like that. But I wonder if there's like an interesting route to go down where like, in absence of time walking, if you were to just do like a collector's bounty style event again, but it was like, Azeroth Diplomat. I think that might actually be the name of one of the week, because there's a weekly that gives you 50% bonus rep from world quests, like a weekly event that cycles in every so often. It'd be so funny if it's going right now. It's not. But it is one of the ones that goes weekly. It's probably actually in the calendar, I bet, if you just like look at the calendar. Whatever, doesn't matter. I wonder if you could do one where it's like, hey, we're gonna give you double rep for old world reps. Go out and get the Do you want to do that this week? No, I'm not doing the Dark Fuse Paragon caches, and I already maxed my Dark Fuse rep, I believe. Double checking, yeah. So we're not here to help anybody. We are strictly here to get my venture company rep. And anybody that wants anything else can eat it. We're role-playing a true rogue in every sense of the word.
Energy is what plants crave. Battery style. Thanks for giving me a hand.
That's right. Canonically, my human rogue was raised by a goblin. It's not true. I wouldn't let that. That's not true. But we can pretend it's true. Go up, maybe first. Up, down, and then we're going to Quell the Loss. So, a few motives to the Quell the Loss thing. One, as I stated, I need B-roll for the video I'm making about Quell the Loss. I need to get a bunch of footage of just the various things there. Second is I have this thing that I do every so often. I just always kind of circle back to it. Unfortunately, had it on a few different characters now, but my rogue's been my main for a long time, and unlikely to ever change at this point. So I want to have all of the possible reps that I can exalted on one guy. I know that their stated goal is that eventually all reps, or the vast majority of them, will be warbound and account wide. So I acknowledge that going back, especially going back and getting reps that I have exalted on a different character is a fool's errand. Because eventually I could just wait and not have to do any of that work. But I don't want to wait. I want it right now. So, second ulterior motive is that we're just going to go up to the north of the Eastern Kingdoms, and we're going to start a new separate series that I'm going to do that's just working through all the reps. And I think that's a good way to see some lore for people. I think that's a good way to get my reps max. It's a good way to make sure that the millisecond player housing becomes testable on the PTR. That I have access to as much as I can when I probably don't need to fight you. I can just kind of do this now. I have access to as much as I can when I just import my character onto the testable server. It's a great way to stay in shape. So we're gonna do that. And we're gonna start with Call to Lost because it's just topical to Midnight's release. There's a few things that are topical to Midnight's release. I really want to do the Call to Lost video. I really think it's important to talk about Ajara because I think she is going to be pretty present in Midnight. I think it's basically impossible for you to rip an expansion that is about uniting the Elven tribes and the Void and to not include the Berserk Caddymac knockdown. Berserk Caddymac. Not talk about the queen that thought elves were the superior race to all other races in Azeroth. Oh, it's over here. I see what I'm looking for. As well as the queen that happened to, you know, go find the Void on her own. Which is ostensibly where she is now, right? Like, we know she passed beyond the Circle of Stars. She went and said she was going to start dealing with the Void directly. She was sick of dealing with middle management, as far as the Void goes. So, she's got something going on. I have this thing right now where I feel like I have a good sense of the kind of like bosses that are going to be present in Midnight, but I'm not fully ready to bake my Midnight prediction video yet because I don't know what order they're going to appear in. I think one of them is for sure going to be Ajara. I think the end of the expansion boss is Xal'atath. And then there's like this third tier slot. And the third tier slot is where I start to get a little iffy on what I think it could be. I got two picks right now. Option one for the third, like, raid slot. And I think I'm saying the third raid slot, but again, I think Xal'atath will be last. I actually think these two are probably fighting for first. Hey, we're done. Nice. We can get out of the Undermine now. One is the Amani trolls. I think there's an interesting argument to be made that, like, the Amani are very prevalent in that region, as we're gonna go discover, working our way through Call to Lost. Pretty prevalent. Good chance that I think we get some Amani customization options. I don't know if they would just make them their own race. It'd be kind of cool to, like, maybe you, like, is there a world where, hold on, I just gotta slap Frankie Ice real quick. Slap Frankie Ice. That's good. I can log out. I want to go look at the models for a second. So, like, I think there's a world where you maybe are making a troll. We got Xandalari trolls, right? Let's do a customization. Can we get him down to his skivvies? Is that doable in this screen? I don't remember. That works. Like, this doesn't quite go as green as it needs to showcase the green of the Amani. The Amani are like grass green, right? But you kind of get the idea of, like, maybe there's a world where you have a troll that's ripping more of like a, like an orc body, right? Like, even somehow even like more top heavy. If you think about, like, the really big troll brutes that you fight a lot across various tribes. Like, there's some interesting things you could do there. I think it's probably more likely you just kind of, like, get more Amani customization style options from them. But they're going to be a pretty big part of what's happening in that landscape, I think, because they are very prevalent there. So there's a possibility that they end up hitting as one of the raid tiers. I just don't know that... I just don't know if it makes sense for them to actually be a main antagonist early in the expansion, right? Based on the key art for Midnight's announcement, you got a lot of Void guys coming down. Be weird for the Amani to be the primary threat when the key art is like, New York from the Avengers. It's basically what we're going to be doing, right? So I think that there's a possibility they could be antagonists, but not likely. But there's like a whole other thing to talk about with those twerps up in Quathalos. And it's that, as I alluded to earlier, the Arathi Empire is the Hollowfall Arathi Empire, to be clear, is very much rooted in the history of Quathalos and the High Elves at the time, and the humans of the era. That's like point number one, right? Point number two is that the Hollowfall Arathi they crashed and then got teleported to Hollowfall. And that happened because they were sailing on their way back on directive of the Empire to deal with what they call Renalash, which is supposed to be the big cataclysmic, head knock of the light and the void together. Huge fight. Midnight sounds a lot like it could be Renalash. Obviously, they didn't make it in time. Or they crashed. They didn't make it for Renalash, even though it's going to happen now. If I'm the Arathi Emperor, when I sent the Arathi over to do to get ready for Renalash, I sent a bunch of mages with the intention of them being able to teleport. The entire justification for why we can't go to the Arathi Empire, even though we are talking to the Arathi in Hollowfall, is that literally every one of the mages that could make a teleport or a portal to Avaloran, assuming that's where they are, died in the crash. There's one mage in Hollowfall, and he's like, I can make portals, but I don't know how to make one there. I'm not good at it, don't know how to do it, so we can't go there. So, reading between the lines, it would be my assumption that the understanding the Emperor would have had, Emperor Thordan IX, would have been get over there, make contact, make landfall, open some portals. I got some troops. We're coming to do Renalash. He probably didn't just send them to fight for Renalash, right? They're like a boarding party. They never made it. And that was 15 years ago that they crashed and didn't make it. Never opened the portal. So, I'm the Emperor. I'm thinking to myself, where are my portals? At some point in time, you probably send more, right? You're probably if Renalash is this big, important historical event that they believe is the cataclysm, they have to be part of it, they gotta be part of this fight, you gotta send more troops. When do those guys land? When does the rest of the Arathi Empire show up? And so I don't think we're going to see Avaloran or the Arathi homeland in Midnight. I think that's fairly unlikely. Or if we do, we see a small portion or something. I don't think they're going to open up the other side of the world until after the Last Titan, to be blunt. But I think we might see more of the Arathi Empire. I think they might show up. And I think there's a chance that there's a whole cult of them in Hollowfall that end up like worshipping like the void portion of Beladar. I talk about this in my N'Zoth video, but I think there's an almost overwhelming, to the point of I would be more surprised if this was not the case, like void presence and void cult presence over in Avaloran. So my thought is that, is there a world where one of the tiers of bad guys that we're facing is like void culted humans, or void culted Arathi, or something like that, that have come over for Renalash but are fighting for the bad side? That also seems like a long shot relative to everything else. Is this 7th Legion rep? It is. I don't care about 7th Legion rep right now. Ooh, psych. Here's why we're psyching on that, chat. I don't have 7th Legion maxed on this Alliance guy, I don't think. Checking. Yeah, it's Revered. And it's BFA time walking, so all the world quests are double experience. So we actually are going to land and just do this on our way to Call to Loss. Anyways, those are my like 2 theories for like what could potentially be the 3rd tier. The truth is, I really don't know. I think Ajara is probably not your tier 1 villain. I think it's probably tier 2. If you were to put like smart money on it, right? Like, ignore everything I said in that one video about N'Zoth sticking around and being present in Avaloran and all this stuff, and there's like maybe a world where your escalation through the expansion is like Ajara, N'Zoth, Xal'atath. Or maybe N'Zoth, Ajara, Xal'atath, depending on how much power Ajara has actually managed to gain in her time away. That's like probably still smart money, but I don't think they're killing N'Zoth off this expansion. So I think the third one is still, the third like tier of raid is still up in the air, and we're not going to get more than 3 tiers in Midnight. So you have your 3rd raid boss. Or the other entirely possible thing is that I do some questing in Quell the Lost and come up with a completely different theory on like what the 3rd boss could be. There's also some argument to be had. There are people that really think that Illyria could go down the path of getting like fully void corrupted. And going bad. I don't know that they want to write her that way. But it's possible. It's definitely possible. I think that's one that I'd have a little more comfort in. Oh, we're gonna help this little guy out. Come on, little guy. Tag another one. Yeah. Are you done? Hit you with a wave. Yeah, he's done. Okay. I think the book that they have coming out that's about Illyria and Turalyon and their son, mostly their son, could shed a little more light on that maybe, but I don't know. I just don't know that I see them going the route of going the route of corrupting Illyria, because I think like so much of Midnight's plot is gonna, in terms of characters that we know, is gonna center around the Windrunner sisters and Sylvanas getting her like final rest and redemption by finally being able to save Silvermoon, which she couldn't do, right? Like that's the whole reason she wasn't allowed to die. She couldn't save Silvermoon. Now she can save Silvermoon, and maybe they actually let her die and she dies for realsies and doesn't come back undead. That'd be cool. Kill Sylvanas off. I've been yapping for a long time. I'm gonna finally read chat like an adult. Yeah, Frankie Ice goes hard, man. Frankie Ice has all kinds of stuff going on, achievement-wise. I also didn't realize that he had that many pets until I posted a screenshot with that title. The Knight of the Feather Knight or whatever. Crazy achievement to get. Yeah, the Mantid Queen.
Foe in this area. You know what to do.
Where's the yawn coming from? The Mantid Queen is interesting because there's so much tied to the old gods in the Mantid Queen, right?
Mission accomplished.
And the Mantid, I'd have to go back and check. I think they're mostly, well, no, the entire like insectoid style races that were born out of, hold on, this guy has to die. Come back here. Can I rip a full combo point stun on this guy? Well, PvP is disabled. This guy's level 80. I waved to him. I'm not enabling PvP. This guy is normal PvP flagged. I'm chickening out. I'm running away. What was I saying? The Mantid are like, they do exist across the various old gods. When you look at like the Black Empire and the old time. So like the Mantid are a good race in my mind to like come about in a Void expansion potentially, but also just like if we get to a world where we kind of recenter on the old gods and less on the cosmic void as a whole, they're a really good race to have around, right? So I think in line with my general thought that
Beyond your guard.
somebody fighting this?
Mission
There you go.
accomplished.
Happy to help. In line with my general thought that like we're gonna get a little more grounded as we go through as we go out of the Last Titan. I think the Mantid are a really good race to like pull back into the fold at that point. They're a good like solid enemy race to have from an old god perspective moving post the Last Titan. Very old, kind of evil, but you do kind of help some of them sometimes. All those things. Queldani Lodge. This is the lodge of blood elves, or high elves, I guess, that I think ended up not diving back into the Sunwell. They, well, that's, I mean, that's a fucking Drain Eye. That's not that at all. There's an elf. Yeah, blue eyes. They end up not, like, deciding to go back to relying on the well when they make, like, a brand new power source after founding Quel'Thalas, right? So, like, the Sunwell, you gotta remember, is man-made. Like, the Sunstrider, the original Sunstrider that comes over with the Highborn and says, like, we still want to practice Arcane, and the Night Elves are like, no, don't, please. He comes over, and they find a nice, like, nexus of energy along Azeroth's natural ley lines. There's a big pool already there. And then he's like, surprise, everyone! I brought some of the Well of Eternity with me. He puts a few drops in and makes the Sunwell. And a whole bunch of elves are like, I don't really want to fuck with that again. And they end up going and living in that lodge that we just briefly flew through. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to get, like, how I want to start our journey here. So if we look at a map, we're going to Firefox chat. New window. Get me a, what map? Do I have Chronicle with me? I do. Hold chat. We gotta look. This might not actually be in Chronicle 1, and Chronicle 3 is not near me. We're going into a book. This is not gonna be good streaming content if I don't hold the book up. So now I'm gonna look really lore mastery for a second as I flip through. Ancient Kalimdor. Somebody argued with me in the comments the other day about the fact that the big pre-Sundering continent was called Kalimdor. But it was. Give me the Troll War Kalimdor map. Let's see if that gets me what I want. That's the Arathi Empire. This is Quel'Tha Lost. You know what? This map will do. I don't want the Wowpedia one, though. I literally never want to see the Wowpedia one. Ever again. Wowpedia, horrible little website. We want Warcraft Wiki. Chat. This is map number 1 that we want to look at. And I want the... If I search for the Amani Empire, Warcraft Wiki, that's going to give me the second map, and then I'll flash them both on... I'll flash them both up here. Okay. Coming in hot. We are showing... Not that. Hold. How do I pick the right window? That's... Okay, it's this one, weirdly. It's not labeled correctly at all in OBS, but that's okay. Okay, so... We just, like, look at this for a second. So this is pre-Sundrain, right? And this is all the land that belongs to the Amani pre-Sundrain. Well of Eternity collapses. Kalimdor goes left. Eastern Kingdoms go right. You get Northrend up in the north and all that stuff. But Mount Hyjal, you get your new well. You get a bunch of elves that are like, I want to do arcane magic. No. They sail across to the Eastern Kingdoms that are now separated. And you get up here. And this is where, like, this is the Troll Wars era map. So if we're talking about looking at what encompasses Quel'Tha Lost, the things that, like, for sure fall into the Quel'Tha Lost kingdom are... You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop this slightly more. Like this. Make it big. Can I rip the map open here? Okay. Show me... Did it not... Did it go away because I minimized it? Yeah, I actually don't want to minimize it. I just want it to be hidden. There we go. Okay, so, like, the only things that actually fall into quote-unquote Quel'Tha Lost as labeled on this map for the Troll Wars are, like, these two. I just messed up my overlay so much. There we go. Are, like, these two very top Blood Elf starting regions, right? Like, we got Silvermoon and Eversong, and then Quel'Tha Lost. Both overwhelmingly definitely part of Midnight, because we know Silvermoon is going to get shot through the heart. Probably really, really early on. What mount did you just get? Valiance. Oh, that's horrible. Is that Stratholme? I think that's Stratholme, right? Nobody can see what I'm looking about. Hold on. That's Stratholme, right? I think that's the Stratholme mount. I got distracted by guild chat. Hit him with a Gratz. It's only these two. However, like, as the Troll Wars kind of, like, go on and finish, the way that this land is shared shifts quite a bit. And so a lot of what's, like, shown in the Amani Empire here kind of gets split between the Empire of Erethdor and the rest of Quel'Tha Lost. So when we think about, like, what actually is in scope for an old world revamp, it's, like, for sure these two zones, because they want to enable flying in these two zones, and also Ghostlands, I would say, because they also want Ghostlands to be flying equipped. That's, like, primary goal. We still have this whole little place right here, right? This is an untouched... I don't even think you can fly over that. Let's go look. I'm relatively confident you cannot fly into this space right now. Because I think this is like kind of, this is the Stratholme sort of area, right? Like we're gonna roll up on the main Stratholme entrance here. Yeah. And like you still can't, my wings have been clipped right here, right? Like you can't go in there because it's an instance, number one. But number two, like just untouched region. And importantly, untouched region that's like not far off from where we're looking on this map in terms of like Quel'Tha loss. So my suspicion is that at minimum, we see like this whole upper region here gets scoped out. So we're gonna go, like we're gonna actually try and roll into the, gotta find the actual entrance here. It's hard. When you get up this far north in Eastern Plaguelands, you like, the walls are just, I said that other lodge was the lodge that I was thinking of, but I actually think it's this lodge with the elves that were like, nah, we're not playing. Maybe not. These guys are in bad shape. Maybe it's not this place. Maybe it was the other place. I kind of like wonder how much of, like these three seem like the minimum, or four if you count Quel'Tha Nos, right? Like these four seem like the areas that I would revamp. I think you can probably make an argument that like, do they want to touch Stratholme, such an iconic part of Warcraft and its history and mythos, and more importantly, a part that, regardless of whether or not I personally agree with them making like changes, I think writ large it's okay to make changes to the world over 25 years, and like as long as you can go back and kind of see what it looked like before, so not necessarily in a Cataclysm way, but like use Adore Me your way back to old Silithus or something, right? And I think it's nice to be able to make changes to the world and show that the world evolves over time. Stratholme would just like piss a lot of people off, right? Like some of the worst people on the internet would see that they were making a change to Stratholme, and there would be letters, let's say, written because they're horrible people. So I don't know if they necessarily actually want to. What the hell is going on here? All right. I don't know that they actually necessarily want to go touch that area, but geographically, ripe for the pickings, right there. And I think if I were to even go like find, can I find like a later map? Do we have? It's gonna be so much faster for me instead of doing it this way, I think, to actually just look in Chronicle again to the book. Again, purely for visual effect. Just full screen the book. You can see my dog sleeping very quietly right here. He's blurred out, but he's down there, snoozing away. He's like, I don't know why we've been streaming for so long. I want to go for a walk. Bajara, Oldaman, Night Elf Empire, scrolling, a new world. Show me a map. I need the new version of the map, Chronicle. That's the world tree. We need to get to the part where they talk about the founding of Quel'Tha Loss. That's fine. Zvarathor. This is the same map we were literally just looking at. I need one map later. Do we think we're going to get it? I don't actually remember if Chronicle is going to show me a map that is post Troll Wars. Yeah, no, see, like it doesn't the next map they show just is labeling the city. I mean, the camera's blurring it, so this is not a good visual. But the next map just shows the city states of Erethdor. It doesn't actually show the like boundary lines for Quel'Tha Lost. And then it's like Dwarven and Gnomish lands. I actually don't care about any of those. I would love if you gave me a definitive picture of what the elves claimed as Quel'Tha, because the Amani sort of like get pushed back to Zul'Aman and retreat, right? And Zul'Aman on, back to this, Zul'Aman on this map is like just over here. And if we go, like we could actually go to, we didn't, but we could have gone to like the Zul'Aman. Is it in here? Yeah, it is. Like we can go to Zul'Aman. In fact, why don't we? We're here. What was that other thing I got DM'd to show on screen? Oh, the updated Consecrate. And you just never got this, hey? Paladins just never got to do this? Is this better? Is the reason you didn't get to do this because this is actually just like not better? It's funny that the Plunderstorm mobs use this for consecration. I mean, that's pretty funny. They probably should have just put that in the game then, hey? if the Plunderstorm mobs and a Holy Shield are both using it. God, that's good. Bring back Plunderstorm. Okay, we're in Quel'Tha Lost now. Let's go see what we can pick up. I need to have low-level quests turned on. I don't know what quests you can do as an outsider in any of these areas. I don't know if there are any, to be honest. I don't know that I have ever gone to Ghostlands or Eversong. I mean, I've been in Silvermoon, obviously, but I don't know that I've ever gone here with the intention of like looking for quests. So I don't know what you're capable of doing if you're not an elf. It might be nothing. We might just be here for B-roll and yapping. I gotta clear all these Discord messages. There's so many messages, and some of them are talking about stuff that I want to talk about, but instead, I'm gonna be a good gamer. I have to congratulate somebody. Hold on, chat. Somebody I know is having another baby, so we're gonna give him a couple emojis real quick because we're happy for him. Hit him with those. Amazing. Very, very cool. Okay. Back at it. Let's go see Zul'Aman first. So this is like what the Amani get like functionally forced back into from a territory perspective. In the wake of the Troll Wars. Farstrider. See, like the way these are all neutral mobs, I guess it's because they're horde. That makes a lot of sense. I probably don't. Something I hadn't considered, chat. Something I hadn't considered. I am a human. I bet, as a human, not a lot of quests for me to do in the old Ghostlands. I was lore pilled for thinking about this. And in my mind, I was like, this won't even be an issue. The humans and the high elves fight with one another against the trolls in the Troll Wars. Of course I'll be able to collect a bunch of quests and wrap and stuff.
How can old Origin help ya?
So this might actually be for nothing, but we'll go in. We'll see what's going on in Zulaman. See what we can see. That was enough? Okay. Thanks, Vol'jin. This is quite a large instance too. See what I'm talking about with like see how the Amani are like a little more stacked? Like we get really in on them. Like they got a little more juice in the tank compared to our traditional Dark Spear trolls. So that's why I'm saying like you could do customization options, but like maybe the argument for them being an allied race is that the builds are a little bit different. Now, would be the third troll race we have, right? But I mean, there's like 7 elves. So, and the other thing about the Amani, and part of the reason that I think having them be a prevalent part of Midnight in some capacity is interesting, is just like the historical like ancestry that's shared between elves and trolls, right? Like they have common threads going all the way back. You can see it in the Heronir. So it kind of makes some amount of sense, but not necessarily the most amount of sense that you would see some narrative around that in an expansion that's trying to pull all of the elven tribes together. Probably just go straight up here first, and I can explore around the back a little bit afterwards. Right, so like maybe you look at like a 12th of the Lost revamp, and you look at the size of excuse me, I gotta tickle my throat, chat. I might grab another Coke here in a sec. You look at the size of Ghostlands, right? It's not huge. You look at the size of Ghostlands. You look at the size of the Eversong Woods and where Silvermoon is and all this stuff. And you look at Kol'Danas, and you know, you maybe look at Stratham. And you say like, New World revamp, you could probably just make these bigger, right? Like in terms of the, not lore-wise, but in terms of the physical space that they occupy in the world, there's probably room for them to be larger zones than they are today. So, would imagine you get a little more size. But then there's also like, this whole instance zone, you probably turn into like everything on the right hand side of this mountain range. You probably just turn into like an actual zone and not a dungeon. Not to say you can't still go back to, again, like we said earlier, right? Like you build it in the way that you can Zadormi, you can go see old Ghostlands, you can go do old Zulaman, that kind of stuff, but things gotta change. And I think that one of the easy ways for them to add a bunch more landmass is that there's some level to this that is like the Amani, for all of their hatred of the elves and humans historically and stuff like that in the region, probably also don't want to get consumed by the void. So you get an ally in that way. Maybe they play up the classic trope of like they start out maybe allied with the void or allied with something akin to the void, and then catastrophe strikes, and by the end of it they're on our side. But either way, I think you end up doing quite a bit with the Amani just because of geographically they kind of have to be involved. And I think as a result of that, you get this as a as its own zone. I don't even really know off the dome. I'd have to look how they contextualize Zulamon's like physical presence in the world today. I'd have to actually look at it. I can, and I will. It's loading. Oh, it loaded the Wowhead version. I actually don't care for that. I want Zulamon Warcraft wiki. I swapped to Firefox when I had to wipe my computer, and I used to have this sweet extension that would just take any fandom wiki article and would just instantly give you the non-fandom wiki version of it instead. It was so much better. Zildjian dead. The Halls of Zulamon have been quiet until the Cataclysm. With the aid of the Sandalari, the remaining Amani have reassembled under the new leadership of Warlord Jakara. Yeah, we go in, we kill Jakara. But yeah, we're doing this Cataclysm quest line here right now. But there's not a lot of mention in terms of what it is in canon. Now, interestingly, chat, the Warcraft RPG, which is no longer canon, does have some information in terms of like what Zulamon is and could be considered and all of these things. In terms of a zone. Although it's not canon, we saw them pull considerations from the Warcraft RPG back into canon in the Emerald Dream patch of Dragonflight. There were things about the way the Emerald Dream functioned and where it was and how it worked that were actually pulled, like the Eye of Ysera, I think is one strong example. Maybe it wasn't the Eye. I think it was the Eye though. Like those are concepts from. Do I need to be ringing these gongs? No. Those are concepts from the Warcraft RPG that got pulled in. So theoretically, in Midnight, I kind of like this tract a little bit. Maybe like we see the everybody's talking about the Quel'Thalas revamp. The Quel'Thalas revamp. And this would like technically be part of that, but I think maybe there's also an argument to be made that there's a Zulaman revamp pending that's gonna like flesh out this into more than just an instance and turn it into a zone, like a new troll zone in the midst of it all. Kind of like that angle. We're forming on the fly, chat. I really like that angle. I also think, I truly wonder if there's a world where, I don't know if they would ever do this. I kind of think that like the technical debt that you'd have to solve for would be too much. But some people have talked about the idea that theoretically, do elves become a neutral race in Midnight? I don't think so. Like I think like I just don't see the Night Elves ever being in a position where they're like, I'm gonna join the Void. Or not the Void, the Horde. You know? Even if we are in a like more faction neutral world now. Just doesn't seem like in their tact. People mostly want it for like the idea of like high elves being in the alliance. But you can just customize a void elf to be a high elf. If you're really picky on your theming, that's maybe not necessarily what you're actually looking for. Like you want a not void corrupted elf for that. But I don't know. But maybe the Amani are a neutral troll race. That'd be kind of sick. That'd be crazy, right? You get the Amani going, and it's like, oh, actually Amani can be either Horde or Alliance. They're not super picky. That'd be cool. A neutral Amani troll race. I think we're probably at this point done with faction locked allied races. Because it's just so much more work to make. I mean, aside from the narrative reasons why right now, it's also so much more work to like have to suddenly make 2 more allied races instead of just 1, right? Versus like being able to just make 1 and try and do it pretty well because it's going to be neutral. So maybe that's like a Taliesin and Evitel always do like a bingo card thing for expansions. I'm not gonna wholesale steal that idea because it's rude, but like stealing the idea is rude, not the idea itself, obviously. It's like a good bingo card idea, right? Like a long shot prediction that's like, I don't know if this would actually happen, but there could be a world where a neutral troll race makes sense. Let's write that down, chat. I don't want to forget that. Notepad, neutral, Amani, allied race. Shit to talk about. You always just gotta have stuff to yap about, you know? Wow, these are like some appearances and stuff going on in here. I don't know if I've ever... no, I have run Zulaman before. I would have such a hard time remembering the last time I went through this content. I honestly couldn't tell you. It would have had to been on a horde character too. There's no way it would have been on an alliance guy. Another buddy to rescue in here. Must be.
Talk to me.
I just want to talk the last 2 items while I'm here. You're free. I gotta go back because I didn't kill this guy. Just forgot. The non-linear dungeons are pretty cool from an exploration perspective. I actually had a buddy that was talking the other day in one of my chats that was talking about how dungeons have lost that along the way, and I think it's true. Dungeons used to feel a lot more exploratory. I'm not saying that's good or bad. It's just like different, right? Used to feel like kind of like it's like big zones you'd explore, and with the advent of just the way Mythic Plus and dungeoning as a whole has gone, again, not good or bad because I really love Mythic Plus, but like you just kind of lose that along the way. They're not it's not the same. I'm really interested to see conceptually how world tiers pan out in wow, that guy was just about to like give a speech. I murdered him. I'm not gonna hurt these guys though because I'm moral and they're not hurting me. The idea of like a world tier difficulty in World of Warcraft is just so different. I don't know if I like it, but I like the idea of like a big, like if you were to try to go into a zone, I just like the idea of old dungeons, I guess, is fundamentally what it comes down to. Because I like the idea of like, maybe you and your friends are like, well, we got stuff to do. Like, let's go explore this place that's going to be like actually kind of challenging. We're going to have to think about it a little bit, but it's not like timed. It's just sort of a, just kind of a vibe, right? Bird mask was funny. Done. This, we gotta free somebody, right? Yeah. Knew there was a freedom ticket somewhere. Time is it? 2:34. Go for another half hour, and then I'm gonna walk good Bobo head. He's been a good pup all morning while I did a bunch of stuff. Deserves a nice walk, provided it's not. Hey Google, is it raining outside? Thank you. Not raining right now, chat. That's a big win. Call that a massive win, actually. The funny part about ripping like my own music playlist and not the World of Warcraft music is just that like fully does not match the tone of the dungeon at all. I mean, you're not really getting much tone out of the dungeon right now anyway, but just like it's good to play some tavern Hearthstone music while we bust our way through the remains of the Amani Empire. We just go straight up this? I think we can, right? Like, we could just kind of, like, rip through the ruins to get to... Yeah. Okay. Quest item complete. There's a RuneScape plugin that has this content creator named C Engineer's voice on it. It goes, collection slot completed. Whenever you get a new collection slot thing. I don't actually have the plugin installed, but I have a buddy that has it installed. Oh, this is a lot of guys, hey? Holy. It's funny, part of like the outlaw experience is that I didn't really have to do my full rotation, so I didn't, but you do kind of have to do a little bit of your rotation because I don't want to drop Blade Flurry and I don't really want to drop Adrenaline Rush, so I'm like trying to roughly still hit the high combo point finishers just so the cooldown reduction sticks. This is the bad. This is who the Amani have rallied around. In the, I'm trying to kill everybody. Didn't work. I was trying to kill everybody except him so I could get a zoom in on him. So the Amani kind of like rallied around. Most recently, from a lore perspective. Alongside the Zendlari. One quest turned in. Second quest turned in. Do we... Oh my god, they're way back there. I missed the crate. Alright, well, we can't in good conscience leave that person behind, so... Can you, like, go explore over there? Probably not, hey? This has to be invisible walled, I imagine. Yeah. I'm not looking to get out of bounds. Not looking to get my account locked for some reason. Zoom. Do I have to go... I can't go up this, right? Can I grapple up that? No. So I just have to... I gotta fully walk all the way around again. That's the idea. Bummer. Oh my god. Cheap viewers on stream, boo. Wow. Who would have thought? How do I ban somebody? Do I have a mod in chat anywhere? I I can put them in the block list on the restream chat, but I want to do it on Twitch. So they're like banned. Ban. Ripped. Easy. Invisible walls, man. I'm getting turbo owned by invisible walls right now. This is such a backtrack too, just for like an extremely old low-level quest turn in. But what if it gives some kind of sick furniture? You know, what if I get the Amani Great Couch out of it? I don't want to miss out on the Amani Great Couch. So you got to do it.
What you want?
Now I get to run all the way back and then probably have there not be a teleport to get out and probably have to walk all the way back out. But that's okay. What are fog tags? What is this quest? Trackers attached to fog. That's got to be Undermine. No, not Undermine. That is not Undermine. This is a Assembly of the Deeps. You know the zone, the one that's not Isle of Dorn, and it's not Hollowfall, and it's not Ashkahet, and it's not Undermine, and it's not Koresh. The other zone in the War Within that nobody in their right mind could possibly remember the name of. Nobody has ever remembered it. The Ringing Deeps is what it's called. That's the one. Yeah, that's over in the Scarden area. That makes sense. Earlier on stream I was talking about how part of my journey, now that the winds of Mysterious Fortune are back, is honestly just like going and maxing these reps, because I let some of them fall terribly behind. And some of that is literally just like, there are quest lines that I did not go do in the Ringing Deeps because I truly did not care to go do them.
Greetings, man.
No teleport, hey? We all agree? Okay, cool. So yeah, I think you take this Zulaman zone with the wall, and like, you can kind of tell just from the map that it, I really wish the map would like show you roughly where you are, but that's neither here nor there. Like, there can just be more, right? So you're probably getting a bunch of Zulaman in this type of old world revamp. I feel comfortable with that on the prediction list now. This is RuneScape music. Classic, good RuneScape music. The old Chompy Hunt. It's almost criminal to talk over Chompy Hunt, but that's the game. If nothing else from the amount of people now playing old school RuneScape, I saw a settled video. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw the settled video that was talking about how it's in its golden age now, and like, that's good because that game is quite good. It's got Bane in music though. Old school RuneScape music rips, big time. Shout out to modern dungeon design for having teleports and easy ways to get out of dungeons though. I still really love the like big dungeons where you're exploring a big space and you're not timed and you have all the kind of makes it feel like a big space. But they probably could have given Zul'jin like a little cat. It's like, hey, you want to get on this cat to get back to the entrance? I would take that. That'd be fine from an offering perspective. Okay. Now we're gonna rip around a little bit. I think maybe we go... Let's go check out down here. I don't really remember Howling Ziggurat. I don't really remember what's going on down here from a content perspective. And that's like pretty close to, like, this is our Stratholme regioning, right? Like we start to get into Stratholme over here. So let's go have a look at that. Do we think Ghostland, like this whole area, Ghostlands, like this is kind of what you would imagine Zulaman to be now, right? In like a new world. Zulaman's here, Ghostlands get reshaped. And like I said, like maybe something does happen to Stratholme now in a world revamp where we're kind of touching the northern part of the Eastern Kingdoms. But in terms of a zone that maps correctly to its like distribution on the world map, this has got to be one of the worst, right? Like Everson's okay even, but the Ghostlands is like you're just missing stuff. Can't even click up there, that's crazy. Yeah, like you're missing huge chunks. A lot they can do. A lot of landmass stuff they can do with that. I never actually grabbed my other coat after I had my tickle. This one just mysteriously had more in it. It's kind of impressive. Okay, yeah, let's go check out what's going on down here. There's kind of some questions to be had about how this revamp takes place too, right? Like I think there's a question of how much rebuilding they will decide canonically has been done. This zone hasn't been touched in forever. Like literally forever. So some of it is like how much do we decide has been completely like fixed over the course of time here. There might be some literature on that. I actually can't think of any off the dome, but maybe I'll go look at that after this stream. I'm doing the Qualthalos video anyway. I have most of the script written out, but maybe I'll just take a gander and see like what I can talk about from a specific angle of what canonically actually no longer looks like this, even though when you go here in game, it still matches this vibe. Because you would think that like Deathholme's not here anymore, right? Huh. Horrible sitch for old Varnus. That's tough. That's a really tough scene, man. I'm sorry that happened to you. One of the most boring player houses I've ever walked into. Let's get out of here.
I'm out of range.
Back away. I don't think there's a ton more to see in the Deathholme portion of this. I think you pretty much... Hey, unsurprisingly, I think you pretty much get the gist of what's going on in Deathholme from, like, this camera angle. You know? Rip to veteran. We gotta go to like a quest hub. We gotta hit like up here. There's no way, like, there's just no way on an Alliance character any of these quests are pick-upable, but might as well go peek. This is another RuneScape, old school RuneScape classic tune. I don't remember what this one's called, though. I'd have to look. Barbarianism. There you go. The more you know, chat. Oh, rip around. So I probably have to come back here on a horde character, unfortunately, to get any of the rep that is applicable. Once I go south, I can start grabbing some stuff, but I think we might be hooped from a cross-faction perspective. I can't believe I got so lore-pilled that I just, like, forgot that would be the case. Let's make sure we at least have the whole zone visible. Nothing to gather, either. I'm looking for, like, herbs. I'm surprised there are no herbs visible in Ghostlands. Do I have herbs on? Yeah, I do. Because as a blood elf starting, like, you would learn... Yeah, you get enchanting, like... Or, I mean, you can get any profession, I think, in the, like... It's a town up here, right? It's, like, right here. What's going on up here? This is the iconic they got towers all over the place. This is the same tower shape that so people see. Sorry, I obviously gotta kill everybody here real quick. Big murder sim. Ooh, we got a plaque. Hold on. By the light of the sun falling, children of the blood, they are breaking through, oh children of the blood, by the light of the sun. There you go. Can't remember what I was saying. Completely drained my train of thought on the plate, or on the plaque. What am I, a dentist? It is fun to just rip around and just one-shot pistol. Oh, I remember what it was. The top of this tower is what they thought. Some people speculated that it might be N'Zoth, just because the Can I just jump this? Oh, I didn't have a charge. I didn't have a grappling hook. I thought I did. Oops. Herb. Classic herbalism, 2 slots. I think my classic herbalism is... I mean, it's 6. I don't think I've ever leveled classic herbalism on a retail character. So now we're really getting the work done. The player housing work. Who knows what kind of herbs you're going to need to make cloth for housing items. Bank them. Bank them. So that's that. That's also... Oh, that's Windrunner Spire, Mike. Duh. God, it's been a long time since I was out here. Even my... I just made a Blood Elf recently to have another Enchanter. And, like... never made it to Ghostlands, just because leveling is so fast. Like, I didn't even make it out of the, like, 3rd hub in Everson before I was able to queue time walking, and at that point, like, you're in it. You're not doing those quests anymore. Time check. We'll at least make sure we get the map revealed. I'll probably have to come back in on the Horde character and just get some of the quest dialogue. Probably just my Blood Elf, to be honest. I'll just bring the Blood Elf I made for the Enchanter back and just have her finish out both of these zones. Assuming I am correct in that there will not be a single pick-upable quest. This guy's friendly, because he's from Darnassus. All these natives have been here so long. Do you think they know? Do you think anybody told them? I think the answer's probably no. There's a good chance they don't know. That's tough. Get out of here. That was cool. Let's see what's going on up here. But yeah, I think there's probably no alliance-bound rep to be have. Strangle kelp. I need to install light mount again. I was talking about how few add-ons I run now, and I am very happy overall with being able to cut most of them out of my life, but I like light mount for being able to just like pick your mounts better. Kaldorite Wraith. A lot of bad happened here. A lot of just a tough look. The Blood Elves really, I mean the High Elves and then Blood Elves really down bad. Post heard this. Obvious statement, but true nonetheless. Just not a good scene for them. I get up here maybe. It's like walk into Everson, I guess. Yeah, we got the Scorched Grove. I want to go back. My goal before we call the stream is to just make sure I have Ghostlands fully discovered on this guy. And I kind of want, I just want to rip this border here north-south real quick too. Because this mountain range here is really throwing me for a loop, right? Like this is structurally to make the zone smaller, but I don't think, like is it meant to be this? Does this mountain range back onto the Forbidden Sea and then this is just the, I guess it is, huh? I don't know. Maybe we're in for a little bit of a geography retcon, too. So canonically, Zulaman is like the area in this region that, like, this whole place is dead now, right? Ghostlands for a reason, just like got wrecked. From what I remember, that doesn't happen to Zulaman. That's not a problem for them. Like, it's still kind of alive. And that's why when we go in there, like, it's still green and stuff. But so theoretically, you also get, like, this whole region that, just greens out, too, still. Plot formulated in my head. And so that's how they bring... Working with the Amani is how they start to inject life back into the Ghostlands. And how they start to bring back some of the, like, the green. Because the Amani have, you know, avoided that problem entirely. Yeah, like, I can't even... Yeah, there's no quests here for me, because these are all... Well, I mean, when in Rome, right? Some people would say this is trolling. But I don't think there's a ton of people out here doing the questing. So I consider it more sporting than anything else. And this is like, yeah, they're bordering right onto the, like, we got Amani over here. Yeah, they're just more stacked. I think I'm over this, of course, this stream. I think I've convinced myself that maybe we are getting a A neutral Amani race. I gotta go figure out if there's more evidence that could be a possibility. The Amani most recently get talked about in the 11.1.7 stuff that people don't love. Sometimes for legitimate reasons, sometimes for bigoted, extremely bigoted reasons. But they are there. I don't remember any particularly telling voice stuff off the dome, but doesn't mean there isn't any. Maybe it'd be worthwhile to take a troll through that. I don't have a Zandalari troll. Maybe I make a Zandalari troll and I force it through the 11.1.7 stuff. Yeah, like there's still a huge Amani presence on this map here, right? Canonically, I don't think they ever get pushed back. Like, I don't think this is like stuck in time in Burning Crusade, right? But like when I think about what the Amani, what's going on with the Amani, yeah, they go to war with the Zandalari. I think there's the Zandalari are just like conflict inducers in Moth. They didn't love the Zandalari joining the Horde. The Amani were part of the funeral procession. Very little about the Amani recently. Good history lesson, everyone. We went and we learned something. Okay. I've cooked, we've cooked a couple things today, chat. This was a productive stream. I'm glad we came up here and just, like, kind of yapped through it a little bit. I feel a couple key convictions that I think are going to happen. There's no way over these mountains. Hey, like, we can't. You can get up here, though. Can we get around to the other side of this? I gotta stop the stream soon, but, like, we gotta know now, right? This is, like, the Silver Moon that's still intact, and this is the... Like, Silver Moon used to be huge, right? This is our entire Silver Moon footprint. This is the dead music for... Wow. So it plays when you're dead. Foreboding. Spotify really giving it to me right now. Should have brought Goblin Gliders with me, to be honest. Goblin Gliders are so good for doing nonsense exploration. Especially where you can't fly. Instead, I gotta run like a fool. Azure Breeze Coast. It's actually maybe more productive if I get on my water mount here. Yeah, I think this is faster. For sure. Can I get up high enough where I can breathe? No. So we gotta stay just below the surface. And we gotta just move Just like this kind of deal. Nothing going on over there. I'm getting walled. Owned. Was fooled. Okay. I'm not gonna walk all the way over there. I think we're gonna call the stream there, chat. That was fun. We got a mount. We did some lore yapping. We did some rep yapping. It was a good time. Thank you for joining me. It's very funny for me to end it before you could have possibly gotten all your Twitch drops, but just watch other streamers instead. That's a kind thing to do. I'm gonna see if there's a way I can, like... Can I rip a raid with my 4 viewers? Just find some, like, no-name brand other streamer playing WoW. Do people, is that even still like a... Can you still do that? Raid channel? I'd want to pick like a I'd want to pick somebody that was like, you know, like a small lore streamer in the same ballpark, you know? It'd also be nice if it was somebody I actually knew. But I don't see anybody that I know. Off the dome. So that's okay. We're just gonna call it there. Good yap, chat. I'll be back next week. New video this week. Stay tuned. Probably about Quality Loss. Maybe about Allied Race and Monty. We'll find out. Okay. Bye.